Welcome into the Hustle Show Pod here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel, wherever you're downloading your podcast at the Hustle Show Pod. I am Drew Martin, joined by Kelly Stewart, Chris Thurston, Joe Ranieri stepping in for Adam Trigger. We're talking the NBA Finals, guys. Game one, the series. Hey, if you're nice, we might even throw out some MLB picks for this week. We got the Boston Celtics, looks like 3.5-point underdogs as we're talking right now. The Warriors are the favorites here by 3.5, 212.5 being the total. We are presented by Viva Tequila Seltzer. We flavored our tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life. We like our drinks with a kick, just as we like to live our lives. Use the coupon code HUSTLE at checkout. That's HUSTLE at checkout at vivatequilaseltzer.com. It takes 10% off your order. And make sure to check out WagerTalk.com. Live odds screen for the best free live odds in the industry. Going around the horn here, getting ready for NBA Finals. Kelly Stewart coming to us, I believe, from the Sunshine State. It's hard to keep up. Follow her on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas. Kelly, welcome in. Happy Wednesday to you.
It is hard to keep up. I'm headed to New York on Friday, hang out with CT Betts and Ariel. We were going to go to Yankee Stadium, and now it sounds like we may go to MSG. We're going to find out. Twitter did not give me that great of answers as far as Yankee Stadium seating goes, and so far my favorite comment was sit next to a cop. Like, maybe I'll just stay where I'm a little more familiar. We'll see how it goes. Excited for the NBA to wrap up because it's less than 100 days until football season kicks off. So I've got a lot of work to catch up on. And while the NBA has been great, the unders have been cashing at an incredible rate, I'm pretty much over it.
Oh, wow. I saw 100 days. You brought that. I haven't heard that stat yet, Kelly, but we got week 0 NFL preseason. You're right. It's not too far away, guys. Get ready for it. So we got Chris Thurston here at CTBets16 on Twitter. Find him here on The Hustle. Like always, CT Bets, welcome in, buddy.
Drew Martin Betts, good to have you back here from your little vacation. And things are good here, Drew Martin Betts. The ice is treating well. Past 3 series bets on this show that I gave out 2 weeks ago, and they were all dogs. So hopefully you followed Tampa Bay, the Edmonton Oilers, and the New York Rangers. All get the money. Drew Martin Betts been betting the individual games as well. Been doing very well with it. And going to have my best bet on the ice tonight, Drew Martin Betts. So hopefully they keep it going and head into New York with the Queen, Kelly, and Trig on Friday, doing the live show Saturday. So cashing some tickets.
Cashing some tickets. Guys, follow him on Twitter at CTBet16. And he's known as CT Pucks if he keeps cashing these tickets, which he's been doing on the ice. So we'll get some ice picks from him as well as NBA Finals looks. And Joe Ranieri, last, certainly not least, find him all over the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Host extraordinaire, producer extraordinaire, man of many talents, including NBA picks. Joe, welcome in, man.
Excited. I can't believe it's June 1st. I'm scratching my head going, so another 2 weeks NBA, and then we basically have nothing but baseball, balls to the wall. And looking, I can't believe it. I mean, Drew, college is going to be here. It's going to be every game on the board. Here we go again, man. It's enjoy the time while you can, guys, because we don't get a lot of it in 12 months. Kelly knows that all too well.
Oh yeah, Kelly's the person that knows it probably the most in the whole sports gambling industry here. I mean, Kelly, really, where are we at in terms of football? You brought up the 100 days. Is that until what, NFL preseason?
No,
it's kind of
99 days until the NFL actually kicks off. So that first Thursday night game, it's nuts. I mean, I feel like I'm already behind. I did WagerTalk today this morning. Teddy's talking about putting out his preview. I know Ralph Michaels has been doing a ton of work already. And luckily for me, those guys really offer some great cheat sheets. They're all for free over at WagerTalk. It's incredible how much of a head start it helps me get, especially because I do use most of their power ratings in addition to making my own. And that's something I learned to do a long time ago because let me tell you, trying to do your own power ratings, trying to do all of your own stuff can get really, really taxing, plus all your media appearances. So glad to be a part of that family where those guys are so generous as to share all their information with me. But yeah, I gotta hit the I got to hit the books here real soon. I mean, NFL is coming up, and I've only made one wager so far, and that is the Broncos at 25-1 to win the Super Bowl, and they didn't get Aaron Rodgers, and they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So that is my first NFL loser of the season. I can't wait to not cash that ticket. But as far as everything else goes, obviously college football is my bread and butter, so that will be my main focus between now and August 27th.
Absolutely, putting the work in, and it's one of those things. College football, especially, when you put the work in the beginning, it pays off in the end because it lasts, for 14 Saturdays, all the weekday action. So week 0 not too far away. But guys, the reason for the show here, at least the main reason, the NBA Finals, CT bets. We got your Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors, 212.5 minus 3.5 for the game 1. I'm seeing series prices, depending where you're shopping. Consensus, I would throw it at minus 155, the Warriors to win the series. Celtics plus 135. CT bets, how are you looking to bet this series? You looking to bet game 1? What are you thinking about doing in the NBA Finals, man?
Yeah, Drew Martin bets. I think we got the best finals the NBA could ask for here as far as ratings-wise. I think that the whole country wanted to see this. Golden State versus Boston Celtics, and this is Golden State's finals appearance in the last 8 years. Most distinctive advantage Golden State has here is obvious to everybody. Experience, and they're very young. They head into Thursday's opener with 0 games of finals experience. Like you said, Drew, Warriors look at like minus 155, minus 160 favorite. Public has been hitting Golden State here. Game 1 sits at minus 3.5. Biggest advantage the Celtics have going for them, Drew Martin bets, they have the league's best defense. Not only do they have top 2 scorers, Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, they bring 5 starters on the floor that are elite defenders, and that's going to come into play big time in this series. The Warriors, they try and get open looks for Curry and Thompson by using lots of screens and off-ball movement, but the C's that are going to be able to switch with Tatum, Brown, and Smart, all of them, as Joe will tell you too, versatile one-on-one defenders. That's going to be a problem for Golden State. They're not going to have those wide open looks that they're used to having, Drew Martin bets, from deep here. Celtics been great D all playoffs long. The thing that they did not do in the last 2 series, they did not shut down Giannis, right? They did not shut down Jimmy Butler. Drew Martin bets, they still won the series. They did not shut down the top 2 players on those teams, but they were strong enough and tough enough to win those series. Ever since January, this team was 18-21. This has this championship team written all over it. This run has been great. I'm lucky enough to have tickets on both, 14-1 Golden State, 9-1 on Boston. I am playing this. I'm playing the Boston Celtics tomorrow, plus 3.5. And then I'm going to come right back on them the series if they lose game 1, Drew Martin bets. But I think that the rest that the C's just had, and it wasn't the quick turnaround, I think they'll be ready to go. And I like them to win this game on Thursday night, 3.5, and sprinkle a little bit on the money line, Drew Martin bets. I like the C's.
Oh, I like it. CT bets, and he slipped that in. The CT futures there, having futures on both of those teams. I didn't know that. Heck of a bet there. Joe, CT bets brings up the fact, hey, this is what everybody wanted to see. He's not speaking for me as a Heat fan in the NBA. I don't think he's speaking for you, but the fact is the Celtics are in the finals, man. I'm still not over it. I thought the Heat, seeing them in the finals would have had a shot. I wanted to ride Jimmy Buckets, but hey, can't talk about that anymore. Water under the bridge, man. Your overall thoughts here coming into this series. What are you looking to do? What are you looking to bet?
So you got a couple of interesting things going on right now from a history perspective. Number one, this is the first time since 2013 in the finals, Drew, in which at least one of these 2 teams didn't win 70% of their regular season games. So what that means is we don't have that elite team, that, Durant style Golden State, a team that won 68, 69 games during a race. Phoenix isn't here. So we have not seen that in a while, which is why you have pretty much a pick 'em price right now in the series between these 2 teams. Both of these teams, especially Boston, got better from January on. Now they're playing some of their best basketball here. The problem is you've got Boston, who is about to face the best offense, hand down, that they have seen all playoff long, and vice versa. Golden State's about to face the best defense that they have seen all playoff long. So what gives? And I think the simple answer to me is points, I think, are going to give. Dallas, they slowed it down possession-wise against Golden State. It was like a crawl. And we still see a couple of games go over there. I don't think this is going to be watching paint dry, especially out of the gate with game number one. I think they're going to go, both teams going to go up tempo. Both teams are going to be rested. I think the 211.5, 212.5, way too low a number for this opening game. I think they both go to town and start scoring a whole lot. When it comes down to it, Drew, there's not a whole lot of, I believe since 2013 when we pulled the numbers, being a home team, it's pretty much been a situation where it's a coin flip for both the totals and for the home team. But what's interesting is since 2013, spreads haven't mattered much. Those that have won the game outright, Drew, 96% ATS. So if they win the game, they're covering. There's no reason ever to take points with the underdog in this series. You like them, you back them on the money line. Unfortunately, I like a lot of points in game one, but I'm not sure Boston's going to be able to get it done there. I do like Golden State to win game one. Oh, yeah, and win the series. Like that bet as well.
I like it. Joe Ranieri. Check them out. WagerTalk YouTube channel, the NBA betting show going on the YouTube channel. Obviously knows his stuff. Kelly, 2 tough follows there. What are you thinking about? Game one, series bet? How are you looking about the NBA Finals?
I'm just over here laughing. I get a text from Chris. He goes, "What's that growling?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm pretty sure that's Coco laying over here snoring." So if you guys, if my microphone is picking that up, I apologize. She is out cold. But yeah, I wouldn't call it growling. I would just call it breathing. She's a Frenchie. Look, I agree with both of these guys. There's a lot of narratives here, right? For me to want to back the Celtics, there's a lot for me to want to back the Warriors. In terms of Joe and the Warriors, as far as their home court goes, home road dichotomy, they're going to have that advantage in this series, even if it goes to 7 games. We saw it several times where they went to Dallas, they went to Memphis, and they laid an egg. And I expect them to do so again in this series. But I do think that if it goes to 7 games, the Warriors will squeak it out. I don't love it. I'm not laying 155. I think the price is a little wonky. It seems a little fishy, if you will. I did a show with Jay Money and Marco D'Angelo earlier. And I said, hey, listen, if you're going to make me pick, I will take the Warriors here. I don't love it. This is not a Warriors team that Joe mentioned has been particularly dominant like we've seen in years past. But they do have the experience. And I do think I have to give them a little bit of an edge for that set experience, because that's exactly what Chris said. This is a young Celtics team. They're gelling, and they've been doing really great since January. My only real beef is their lack of rebounding, but that's okay because they've been cashing these unders like crazy for me. So if they don't get the offensive rebound, that's less points. But outside of that, I have my questions in regards to how healthy everybody is for the Celtics. Marcus Smart concerns me. I do think that they can't win the series without him, if you will. I think that that's a strong statement, but I'm going to stand by it. I think they need him to be able to come out and to play tough, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. Joe said it. You're going to see the best offensive team face the best defensive team, and there's your narrative. I don't see much of an edge for myself in regards to the series price. Now, I am going to be opposite of Joe here because we all know that's all I've been doing is betting these unders. I love these unders. These unders have been amazing. I did a show for Barstool earlier. Let me pull up my notes. 54-33 to the under. And those unders have not only just been cashing, they've been cashing by over 4 points, especially in the Celtics series. I mean, the Celtics games have been like 102-89. They've just been amazing unders where I'm just sitting back, enjoying myself. I don't even have to sweat it. And in particular with that, the couple that did go over, they still went under first quarter and first half. So that's been really nice as well. So keep an eye there. I haven't bet this one yet. It's up to 212.5 across the screen at wagertalk.com/odds. You guys can always shop around there for different books. I wonder if we see this get to 4. If it does, maybe I can start leaning towards the Celtics. But Joe brought up a stat that Marco also said earlier, 41, 2-2 against the spread. Just pick the winner. I mean, this is a narrative we talk about all the time during the NFL playoffs. Just pick the winner. Well, that's at 83%. At 96%, Joe's right. If you like the Celtics, you should be betting them on the money line. Now that I say that, the game's going to land 1 or 2, and everybody can tell me how much they hate me because we're going to see that trend go away. But I think that that's exactly how you want to play this. I do think that the Warriors take game 1, and I think that's an excellent spot to go in. And if you like the Celtics for the series, to bet them there. Again, I don't think that there's a ton of value. I do know that sharp money came in on the Celtics when the series price opened. And that's about all I've got to report. I'm going to most likely be on the under tomorrow, but I'm hanging tight because it just keeps getting bet up. And I don't see that one coming back down in anytime between now and tip-off.
And to Kelly's point, I mean, it opened 3. We're seeing 3 in the hook there, so it has pushed up looking at the WagerTalk odds screen. And Joe, I guess Kelly brought it up again. What exactly is the stat in terms of teams against the spread and winning the game straight up?
So over the last 8 seasons, that includes 45 games. You have winners of the NBA Finals have gone 41, 2-2 ATS, just over 95.5% there, Drew. So really, there's no if you're gonna like a dog in this series, then take the plus money. You're out of your mind to take points and think it's ever going to come into play. The straight up
but you're also
cover.
Joe, you're also out of your mind to be like laying a ridiculous chalk like minus 190.
Yes.
Just lay the -3.5, minus 110. I mean, we saw that the other night. I thought the Heat were going to get it done for me. I took the +3. I thought it was going to be a really tight game. It really wasn't. And Jimmy Butler hits that 3. I might be saying a little bit of something different. But outside of that, I don't understand why people are betting these ridiculous money line prices when these teams are, 8.5-point favorites. When Golden State was playing Memphis, it's like, what are you doing laying, almost $3 when you could just be laying the 8.5 minus 110?
In Joe, over the last 8 seasons, like with these type of trends, I mean, this one is so eye-popping. Can you think of a reason why that's happening in the NBA Finals? Because it doesn't really happen. One of my points was going to be here, the Celtics on the road against the spread are 33-16, 67% against the spread this season. So they've been a great covering machine as the road team. That was going to be kind of maybe a look to bet the Celtics here against the spread, but your trend is way stronger than that. I don't know how relevant or not relevant it is from the last 8 years in the NBA Finals. I mean, do you think that's something that's going to carry over this year and maybe years to come?
Well, I'll tell you what doesn't matter, Drew, is home teams. In those same 8 years, 26-20 straight up, 23-22-1 against the number is the home team. So there's not a real big edge we haven't seen in the finals in this kind of spot. I think the value is going to come with game 2, especially if Boston loses game 1 here. The ability to get Boston at a ridiculous price and have them bounce back, and CT will tell you, like they've done since January when they haven't lost a back-to-back game, it's going to be phenomenal. So in many aspects, not just because I bet it, but, man, Boston backers hope they lose game 1 because game 2, they're never going to be a favorite in game 2, even remotely close. So I think all the value lies with Boston once they lose game 1.
Not to cut Chris out, but one more coupled question with that that was brought up today on Jay Money's show. Steve Kerr, 19-1 in game 1s. Do you think that stat is significant whatsoever? To me, it doesn't mean a whole lot, but I think you could use it as a talking point if you like the Warriors.
In Kelly, one thing I think about that when I hear game 1, not necessarily game 1 itself, but extra preparation time with the coach, I think does factor in. It more so in football, but in basketball, actually, yes. I mean, in college basketball, it absolutely matters. To have the coach, think about it, in March Madness, I look to be betting on the better coach in the round of 64, in the round of 16, where they get those extra couple days. I think it absolutely matters in terms of the extra preparation time, not necessarily just for game 1, though.
Do you see the schedule here, guys? I mean, it's like 9 days between each game. Like, good Christ, it's going to take a month to finish this thing up. Like, it's So rest is going to be a very interesting part of the handicap because they're going to play every two. Sometimes I think there's a 3-day gap between games 2 and 3. It's kind of crazy, but going to give time for guys to heal for sure, Drew.
Sure. I mean, it's the business aspect. The NBA can be the most shiny, object here for 17 days they're carrying this over, almost 3 weeks for one series. Hey, it is what it is. But CT Betts, we got to get you in here, man. What are you thinking about Kelly's stat, 19-1, game 1? I think that does matter. What are your thoughts overall?
So to go back to Joe's point about the home court advantage, right? So I saw an interesting stat this morning. Both these teams are road warriors. We've seen what the Celtics have done this playoffs. What they've done is amazing. They go to Brooklyn. They sweep in Brooklyn. They have to win in Milwaukee to bring it back home to Boston to close out. And then they have to go to Miami last round and win game 7. So they know how to win on the road. And then the Warriors, right? Golden State has won at least one road game in each of its last 26 playoff series. That's an NBA record streak that started 9 years ago. So both teams know how to win on the road here. So I agree with Joe. There's no real home court advantage, as both teams could very easily go into Golden State could go into Boston and get the W, and Boston could very well go into Golden State and get the W. Something that I found interesting, and I wanted to get what Joe thought about this, right? So something in my I never really thought there was much of a coaching advantage in the NBA. I never really thought that there was, because you see how the LeBrons, how he's pretty much been the coach of every single team he has. Is Steve Kerr really doing that much? Well, I heard on radio this morning, Joe, Steve Kerr was quoted 3 years ago when they asked him, how is he drawing up plays and getting ready for his playoff series. And he looked at the reporter dead serious and said, "I've never drawn up a play in my career. Don't know how Brad Stevens draws up really good plays, and I copy a lot of his stuff." So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Ime, the coach of the Celtics, but I'm going to give a slight coaching advantage to Ime, especially what he's done with this Celtics team. He's been able to turn this season around, and I'm not saying it's much of a coaching advantage because this is in the NBA, but I was curious to see what you thought about that, Joe, and if you had heard that Kerr has said that before and known for that.
I try not to pay attention to anything Steve Kerr says, but I will say this. I will certainly throw this out there. It is a stars league. It's not a coaching league. The NFL is a coaches league. The NBA is a stars league. You're as good as your stars are at any one given moment. I mean, what is Steve Kerr going to huddle up and draw up for Steph Curry and Clay? Like, it's not. I mean, the reason one of my big reasons to betting the over in game 1 is because of how you have two elite coached defenses going at it, and usually those games tend to get up pace. And why, especially with a game 1, is they're trying to get as many points in transition as possible. What exactly is Golden State going to do defensively to slow down the Boston Celtics here early on in this series? I don't think much. And I do think vice versa. They're going to bombs away here, Golden State. They're going to try to do what they do, which is come out firing early. So I do think this is going to be a little bit high scoring. I think the number was low to begin with at 211. But you've got two well-coached teams, two elite defenses. Yeah, I think transition points are going to be huge in this one, Drew.
Yeah, interesting take there in terms of the defense making more transitions. I could see that as well. I mean, CT, to your point on the coaching, I think, like in college basketball, coaching matters more, not only the recruiting aspect of it, but just, the young minds and getting everybody on the same page. I do agree with you. Kelly, interested in your input on this in terms of the NBA coaching angle. Is it as strong as kind of the other major sports, in your opinion? Maybe not. Maybe we
C2?
we left.
Are you asking CT or are you who are you asking?
Oh, I thought I said
I
Kelly.
thought he was asking Chris.
Oh,
You did. You said Kelly.
My bad.
You said Kelly.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
He did?
Either one. CT Betts, interested in your opinion as well.
I did not hear Kelly. I'm just sitting here hanging out, listening to you guys just pummel my under theory. Do I think it could? Listen, my thoughts on the NBA are exactly that. Joe nailed it. It's a star league. It's what it is. 90% of the coaches don't even matter in my book. Like if they got tossed from a game, if they had COVID and couldn't coach, it doesn't matter. No, and we've seen it for the last couple of years prove that theory, and that's just the unfortunate part. Now we've seen that kind of come to fruition even in the NFL, where I think it was like Sean Payton missed a couple of games, and a couple other coaches last year were out as well. I think professional leagues are a lot different. And it's not because I'm saying they're uncoachable. I'm just saying that they're just at a higher level. Plus, you still have assistants and so forth that buy into your system. Maybe I've just been watching too much of that Lakers documentary on HBO, but I'm not really buying the coaching hype here.
I don't think
we are getting some. We are getting some pushback in the chat box. Demon Slayer, we got MD24. He's laughing. I was saying I threw off the panel. I sure did. But he's saying, did you see the Warriors play without Kerr? He begs to differ. Also, Steve Kerr with the deeper bench, subbing in and out is very important in the NBA. I don't know, CT Bets. Obviously, coaching is important in all sports, but I just think comparing it to the other major sports, it might not be as much in the NBA.
Yeah, I agree with that statement. I think other sports professionally, it doesn't matter as much, but I do think it matters a lot with this Celtics team. We saw how they started off. Everybody in Boston was ready to kill themselves. It was the end of the world. Get rid of Marcus Smart. He's the worst. And it takes a lot for Ime to kind of come in here. Everybody was telling him to get the hell out of Boston too. Who is this guy? No one knew who he was. But he really did a good job putting this team back together, getting them to gel, getting Jaylen Brown. And just it's tough to have two stars on the team, especially young stars, Drew Martin Betts, like Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum, and then also throw in a Marcus Smart, who is the quote-unquote veteran of this team, who can be, as we all know, a hothead and is known for his antics. So getting that team to kind of pull together and the run they went on, yeah, that took coaching. You can't just have anybody in that position and expect to do and turn around that season from when they started from. But I do agree with whoever said that in the panel. I'm starting to remember when Steve Kerr was out, Golden State did struggle a lot. So I don't think it matters as much, Drew Martin Betts, but it does matter a little bit, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely. Good points there, CT Bets. Guys, we got to keep it here, trying to make it a 30-minute show. So we got Best Bets final thoughts coming up. But a reminder, we are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Viva Tequila Seltzer, refreshing and drinkable hard seltzer, 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 4.5% ABV. Viva, the perfect drink for your pregame or postgame celebrations. It was created with the active lifestyle in mind and growing rapidly, guys. Hopefully coming to a state near you, possibly the Sunshine State. I believe CT Bets, we got the New York show coming up this upcoming Saturday, June 4th. Can you go a little bit more in depth into that? What do we got planned here for Saturday's show at Canucks in New York?
Yeah, sure, Drew. It's this Saturday, June 4th. Myself, Kelly, Ariel, and Trig will be there live, 5:30 p.m. We'll be doing a show. Drew, I have put it in the rundown, the address of the bar. Do you have it in front of you so we could give it to everybody? It's in New York City, so they know if they're in the area.
We are doing a live remote show. We're going to be doing more of these throughout the year, by the way, guys. So this is the first one. We're probably going to have one in Vegas right before the football season starts. So stay tuned for that. But June 4th, this Saturday, live, 5:30 Eastern time from the Canuck, 202 9th Ave in New York City. The Canuck, an awesome sports bar and great account. If you're in the area, please join us. We will buy you some Vivas. Stay for Game 3 of the Western Finals on the ice, Avs at Oilers. So, guys, the Canuck, 202 9th Ave in New York City for anybody in or around the New York area.
Yeah, the owners of Viva, they're flying in, so the two of them will be there. And they said they're going to run a tab, and we will be doing the live show. And we got the NHL Western Finals Game 2, I believe, at 8 p.m. Eastern.
I just don't know how I'm going to keep Chris sober from apparently Ariel already scheduled brunch. And I'm like, wait, we're going to go to brunch and then we're going to have to go set up technology, like equipment for this with Chris in a bar. Okay, great. This is going to be a fun Saturday. And she's like, well, what else are we supposed to do? I go, I don't know. Can't we just go to a diner for breakfast? Do we really have to go to brunch? Because between us three, I already know how that's going to end. Maybe we can go back and take a nap before the Canuck. I don't know. It's going to get out of control.
Oh, this is going to be great, guys.
I said, we got to take it easy here. We got Joe working hard behind the scenes here on getting the equipment we need. So we're going to be going. This is a business trip. We got to get this show rocking and rolling, and we'll be ready to party right after we're done Saturday night, Drew Martin Betts.
Oh, that would be fun. I can't wait to watch that live. I'll be in the chat box if it's possible or on Twitter. Anyway, at the Hustle Show Pod.
At least I can assault Trig live in person instead of just verbally over camera.
Exactly. Please do. Yes, this is going to be good stuff, guys. 5:30 Eastern Saturday from the Canuck, 202 9th Ave in New York City. We got Ariel Epstein stepping in for myself. So the prop queen, hey, it's getting a little bit better looking, maybe a little bit better hockey analysis, NBA analysis. She knows what she's talking about. So it'll be a fun show on Saturday. But we got to go around the horn here. Final thoughts for the show, best bets. Kelly in Vegas on Twitter. Check her out. Barstool Sports. Check her out on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Kelly, what do you got for final thoughts for the show? And if you got a best bet, feel free to throw it out.
I don't have a best bet, but I will be on the under, depending on how high it gets. Look, I'm hoping for 213.5. It might not get there. But one of the things that I started doing, and it's kind of a culmination of the fade you guys, only because they're degen Dennis that we faded forever, always did first quarter, first half, and game. Started doing Jay Money's show, and Jay Money kind of opened me up to there's a definite correlation there in the NBA for whatever reason. And it's been working out really, really well in regards to these totals. I know I've only been putting out the game total, but that's just because not everybody has access to quarters all the time and similar numbers and things like that. So to put out the game line total is the easiest, but I will most likely be on the under tomorrow night. And if I do it, I'm betting all three: first quarter, first half, and game. I hope Joe's dead wrong. I hope we see a lot of these behind me. I want to hear lots of clanking of the rim and a really quiet crowd that's just like, man, I can't believe we paid thousands of dollars to come watch this game that's going to be a dead under.
I like it. It looks like a sharp call there on the under NBA Finals, at least in my opinion. So, hey, went out of order a little bit. Saw that, Kelly, you were supposed to go last. Hey, we'll get back in order here. I'm going to go, man, I think I'm going up against Joe's trend as well, guys. And unfortunately, I'm just going to jump on that trend, Joe. So you're going to have a chance to defend it here. But I really like the Celtics on the road against the spread trend, 33-16. That's 67%, guys. Year to date, they've been a great road bet. They're on the road here for game one. I don't really buy into that, going to be too tired, going to be too drained from that series against the Heat. Yeah, it was a tough series, but they went in, they won, to CT's point earlier in the show. And they do have a couple days here to regroup, get back at it for game one of the NBA Finals. And I actually think, the 9-ish, 10 days that the Warriors are going to be off here, it works against them in game one. It might help them for the series, but not for game one. I'm going to take the 3.5. I'm a big fan of taking points plus 3.5, watch it come down to the end. And, a 1 or 2 point game, we get that in our pocket. So I'm going with the Celtics. Also, last point here, the team that gets to the free throw line more and the team that's better on the free throw line, 82%, number 2 in the NBA for the full season from the charity stripe, putting all of that in our pocket. I'm on the Celtics. Game one plus 3.5 for my best bet. Going down in order. Give the man a chance to defend the trend I'm going against here, because that is a tough one to go against. Joe Ranieri, the host of the NBA betting show right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. Man of many talents, producer extraordinaire. Joe, what do you got for final thoughts and best bet, buddy?
Listen, I'm going to go ahead and just add more fuel to your argument right now. How about the Celtics this year during the regular season on the road, covered at a 66.2% clip? They were phenomenal on the road. And as of January, Drew, they were even better coming off a loss. But here's the other problem. You got a Golden State Warriors team who is now 9-0 straight up, 7-2 against the number at home in the playoffs. And, oh, yeah, they've got a plus 17 net rating so far in the playoffs, which means, Drew, they're coming out firing. And the other problem we got is, I mean, they're getting Gary Payton II back. Otto Porter. They are the healthiest they have been all season long. So while the defense, I think, is certainly going to be there for Boston, I think there's going to be a lot of transition points here, a lot of opportunities. And I think Golden State's going to want to stick a dagger in it early. So I like Golden State with I'm praying game one, because I can't tell you the second mortgage I'm going to take out to back Boston on game two. I can't even begin to tell you. So please.
See, Joe, we both want a blowout. Like, let's get it like 110 to 80. 110 to 80 would be perfect.
Just win Golden State, but I would lay the 3.5. I don't think that's a problem because, like Kelly said, I believe they're going to win. They're going to win by margin. It's not going to be an issue with this Golden State team. So give me Golden State in game one. I'll come back and hammer Boston in game two. But that one prop that I bet there was Golden State wins game one and wins the series. That would be the other one that I'm looking at.
Joe Ranieri, ladies and gentlemen, follow on Twitter at Joe Ranieri. We got CT Bets, Chris Thurston up next. CT Bets 16 on Twitter. Last, certainly not least here. CT Bets, take it away, man. Final thoughts, best bets.
Yeah, Drew Martin Bets, final thoughts. Come join us on Saturday night. It's going to be a great time. There, plenty of Vivas, and we'll have the hockey game on. So please, if you're in the area, come down and join us. And I'm taking my best bet, Drew Martin Bets, to the ice.
Yes.
And it goes tonight at 8 Eastern, Drew Martin Bets. I've been riding this New York Rangers team, Drew. I gave it out for the series. I gave them game 6. I gave out game 7. I am riding them, Drew Martin Bets. I don't care about the short rest. As you guys all know, I played college hockey, and I loved when we were playing well, and we all wanted to play the next day. That New York team is ready to go. I expect the Garden to be rocking tonight, Drew Martin Bets. They met 3 times this year, Tampa Bay and New York. Didn't know if you knew this, Kel. The Rags have beat them all 3 times. 10-4 scoring margin this year. We're going to see a lot different game than we saw last night in the Western Conference Finals. Shesterkin and Vasilevsky, 2 of the best in the league. You need a good goalie to win the whole thing, and that's what you're going to get tonight. The Rangers are starting. They're going to need to score. Carolina on this show. We didn't see it in the first couple of games. They came to play later in the series. Fox, Kreider, and Kopp, they're starting to really put the puck in the net right now, and Shesterkin has been money. I'm going to pull a Joe Ranieri right now, Drew Martin. Okay? Let's see if you can do like him. I'm betting the Rangers tonight, plus 110, game 1. I'm going to hope to cash that ticket. And then tomorrow morning, I'm waking up, and I'm betting Tampa Bay for the series.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do. Oh. I hope it works out, and I hope you've been following me on the ice, and I'm going to keep it fucking rolling.
I'm tailing, baby. I'm tailing.
New York Rangers, I got it up right now. Plus 114. So CT Pucks, roll with that, plus 114?
Yes, sir. Get that plus money, inject it right into you, Drew.
Love it.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly think, if you want to know my opinion, I think the biggest key to the Lightning winning this game is they're going to have to score first and take that crowd out. They've done excellent this year on the road and not having home ice. If Tampa Bay does score first, I think that you're going to get – I think it makes way more sense to bet the Rangers in game. I think you should be getting personally, I thought this line looked really cheap, which is why I did lean towards the Rangers here in this one. But if Tampa happens to score first, I think you could probably get plus 135 in game.
You know what I think they need to happen too is I think Tampa needs to get, Vasilevsky has to get her. They got to get to their third string goalie, and then I love the Rangers here tonight too as well.
Dude, well, let me tell you about the one Lightning game I went to with Vasilevsky in goal. It was against Pittsburgh, and he gave up 5. And he definitely concerns me because we know that those are 2 really great goalies. But I had the under in the Rangers game 7 the other night, and it was dead on arrival starting in the first period. I have my concerns about the high-scoring affair this could be, just because the talking points are how great both goalies are.
CT Bets, give me the exact score so I can play it. Come on, let's go. CT Pucks, come on, give me the exact score tonight.
I'm going 3-1 Rags.
Oh, done.
3-1 Rags. And want to know what else I like, Cal, too? I like this because I like how Tampa Bay hasn't played since Monday, May 23rd. Might see a little rust factor in there. And I also like them tonight because Braden Point's still not going to be back. Tampa Bay's second best player. He's going to be back later in the series. I do expect Tampa Bay to win this series, but I like the Rags tonight to get it done.
3-1 exacta on the Rangers, plus 114. I'm tailing as well. That's CT Pucks. I heard it from Kelly Stewart, Joe Ranieri. I am Drew Martin. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Remember, we're brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer. Our belief is to live long, live well, and live it up. Hashtag Viva Up. VivaTequilaSeltzer.com. Coupon code HUSTLE at checkout takes 10% off. Check out WagerTalk.com, WagerTalk Live odds screen. If you're looking for odds, guys, we're talking about sides, totals. Check out the WagerTalk Live odds. It's the best in the business. That does it for the show. Best of luck. Please smash that like button.
Clear. Great job, guys.